Before we talk about your work with Quantumzyme, I know that you have a master's in applied sciences from Queensland University, and you've worked with stem cell research and cancer genomics. How did you manage to first get involved with Quantumzyme, and has it been a significant change for you going from working with stem cell research to working with enzymes?
Yeah, I would say from a domain perspective, the basics remain the same. The molecular biology,
Mhm.
the biotechnology aspects, all of that remain the same. But overall, from a customer target business vertical, all of that is a complete change from what I was working earlier. Here at Quantumzyme, we focus on green chemistry. What I mean green chemistry here is to convert a difficult, complex chemical reaction which has, let's say, metal catalysts, uh, generating some hazardous byproducts and all of that, to make it greener by using an enzymatic synthetic route. So when we talk about that, then my target customer is completely different. And again, within that as well, there are different verticals. We have customers from the pharma industry, then we have customers from fine chemicals, fragrance companies. So it's a diverse set of customers even within that. But for us, it's the same technology that we apply. So it's from a technology point of view, it can be applied across. But from understanding the application vertical, it's a different knowledge all the time. So there's a lot of learning there as well.
Do you think the issue of sustainability is kind of becoming of increasing importance in biotechnology as a whole? And what is the collective consciousness around sustainability in the biotech industry in India specifically?
The whole idea and the concept of biotechnology is sustainability. So it is, I can't say sustainability personified biotechnology, but it's something like that. So it is about the application in other verticals, in other technologies, or in other businesses that makes it a sustainable approach for these industries.
What do you think makes the company stand out in the field of enzyme engineering?
Yeah. Firstly, a quick short background is 2 years ago, there was a Nobel Prize given for enzyme engineering. So,
Mhm.
what it means is there is a sustainability importance at a global scale, and it has been recognized. So, enzyme engineering on its own is becoming more and more critical to different industries. Now, there are traditional approaches, which means you do your work in a lab, in a biotech lab, and then make the modifications, test it, and so on. But what we have at Quantumzyme is it's completely computational biology, computational chemistry, and a combination of mathematical modeling like quantum mechanics, molecular mechanics. So that makes us unique. And our technology, using these methods and techniques as the base, we have developed something really unique. So that makes us stand out. The reason, again, is it's not just because we are different, it's about the speed with which we can design an enzyme for a specific application, the speed with which we can identify already existing enzyme in nature and then modify that to meet an industrial, let's say, economically viable kind of a solution. That makes us unique.
Moving on a bit to the kind of present situation that we all find ourselves in. Of course, it's kind of unignorable on an individual level. We're all affected, and of course, businesses as well across the world are affected by the current coronavirus situation. I wanted to know, how has the current situation actually affected Quantumzyme, and has it influenced in any way your long-term and short-term plans or any projects that you had in progress?
So, firstly, the physical situation here at Quantumzyme is that we are all in a lockdown. We are all working from home. My whole team works from home. But then the advantage, unlike any traditional biotech company, we work on computational methods and approaches, which means we access our servers. We are still able to continue our work. So the running projects have been uh, going on quite successfully, and those that were in the pipeline, they have gotten delayed, but now they're again slowly coming back on track. There are things that you can have control on, and there are things that you don't have control on. And this situation is something like we don't have much control. So
Mhm.
what can we do? Can we prepare for tomorrow now instead of sitting and brooding? So in the long term, this whole situation has reaffirmed our belief that working from a computational design perspective is critical, and that the companies, customers, and businesses can really take good advantage of that. On the other hand, uh, the realization that the sustainability dreams need not just wither away, and that we can still move them along even in this situation.
How do you think the world of biotechnology is going to be changed as a result of this situation, and more specifically, the industry in India? How do you think people's emphasis within the industry and prioritization of certain matters might alter?
Yeah. Again, Daiva, there are two points of views for this. The first one, I believe that the biotech industry will continue to be what it has been and what it is already. The perception of the industry by the rest of the world is definitely changing, and it would change, especially if I think or look at how the governments are working, including FDA kind of organizations, which approve new drugs coming in, which takes years and years to come up with a drug like that. But that is shortening so much at an unbelievable pace. And now we realize that there is a lot that even government organizations can do as well if push comes to shove. What I mean again here is, uh, we have been able to test and release in a very focused manner many of these diagnostic kits in less than a month, and not really compromising on quality. That's because all the different organizations can really work together in a concerted way to achieve a common goal, that is to overcome the current situation.
And we wanted to ask a little bit about your perspectives on leadership, because, of course, uh, given the current situation, both in terms of how individuals are suffering, how societies are suffering, how the global economy has suffered, the coming months and years is going to be a process of recovery, obviously, in India and all around the world. So obviously, we're going to need a lot of strong, effective, capable leadership during this time. And as a business leader, we wanted to ask you, what do you think is the type of leadership that we need over the next few months and years during this recovery period?
In the short term, there needs to be a combination of reassurance with the ability to make strategic shifts in terms of thinking and leading the company, right from the strategic level to the tactical level, where individual teams are working on different projects and then be able to uh, understand them, work with them, and then get them on track, and the buy-in into the new ideas that we want to do. But I think in the long term, uh, this would ideally, uh, be past, which means we still need to re look at our initial priorities, and then probably in some cases only a minor shift would still make a big difference. And in some cases, we may have to make a complete shift, 360-degree if required, and then change the strategy. So I would say a balance of both agile leadership now in this current situation to a stable, I would say strategic captainship is required in this kind of scenario.
Talking more in a personal level, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
There is a need to go deeper with your own team members to understand them better. The
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one relationship with the individuals within your organization and the teams, which is something is more important, and that is something that wasn't done. And I think I would like to leave behind just the top-down approach and be able to communicate and connect at all levels of the organization. The interactions would have more value when you have also interacted closely with each person's, and then it becomes easy to even motivate them to do the right kind of work. It's nice that you reached out all the way from Madrid, and yeah, it's I hope to work with you in the future and understand a lot more about what other leaders have to say. It's a great effort that you guys are putting in. All the best, and let's stay connected.